member of our coalition, Sungano. We have been working together, as all of you know, since the 28th of October, 2025. So today is an important historic day that we have all managed to come together and formally launch our alliance or coalition. And I want to thank the church for agreeing to be the face of our new organization, because everything we do, we put the Lord first. And I want to thank my colleagues, Comrade Pisai, the comrades, Comrade Timba, and everyone who is here for the commitment to the cause of liberating the people of Zimbabwe, to the cause of defending our constitution. So in CDF, we are proud founding members of this coalition. And I have no doubt in my mind that CAB 3 will not succeed. They would have to kill us. They have to roll machine guns against our bodies. We will not allow our country to be stolen by Jigananda and other funny elements. We will die for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Biti. May I please ask Comrade Bisai to speak on behalf of the TCP?
Thank you, Comrade Timba. And
Kupa Mtata to address us.
Thank you, Honorable Timba. Good afternoon, Zimbabwe. I will go to the point for the avoidance of any doubt. I hereby launch the new grand coalition, Sungano Yevanhu, Ubumbano lomphakathi. I'm Reverend Dr. Kupakwashe Mtata, the convener of this coalition of the people of Zimbabwe, for the purpose of defending the voice of ordinary citizens in our country and defending our constitution. I also hereby launch Zimbabwe's Let the People Decide national campaign that will be done in terms of Section 59 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe and is owned by every Zimbabwean. From now on, you may regard the coalition and the campaign launched. The people who are here and others who may not be here now come from organizations that underwrite both the coalition and the campaign. A detailed statement will be circulated naming them explicitly. The Constitution of Zimbabwe requires that the people of Zimbabwe shall decide through a referendum on amendments to certain provisions of the Constitution. The people should directly, through a referendum, not parliament, not politicians, not the president, the people. The Constitution is very clear. There is no ambiguity. There is no room for interpretation. There is no maybe or if convenient. The people shall decide. Let me repeat that. The people shall decide. And in fact, whether some do not want people to decide or not, the people shall decide. And yet, right now, some people are pushing hard to change the Constitution without asking the people. They are ignoring the Constitution in order to amend the Constitution. They are breaking the law in order to change the law. And all that to the benefit of a few individuals. We reject the pre-independence arrangement because we rejected the pre-independence arrangement because it excluded the majority. Now, we are back to the same problem. This is a crime against the Constitution and against the people of Zimbabwe. We will be arrested for this, harassed and smear campaigned, and worse. We are ready for that. That is why we are here today. Everybody believes in rules and guidelines, boundaries that guide how we live together, how we interact. Churches have rules. Burial societies have rules. We get frustrated and angry when teams we supported the full Football World Cup are disadvantaged as a result of rules having not been observed fairly. We believe that rules must be as fair as possible. Rules, if enforced fairly, protect all of us from those who may want to use their superior power to take advantage of us. Rules tell us what we can expect. They make our collective futures predictable. Rules keep things in peaceful order. Rules, if kept, prevent the need to impose order through violence. A constitution is one of the most important set of rules a nation can have. It is the arrangement we make together about how power will be used in society. It says this is how we will treat each other. This is what leaders are allowed to do. This is what they cannot do. This is how we will choose our leaders. This is how we will remove leaders if they betray us. Without a constitution, order degenerates into chaos. There will be only the strongest person taking whatever they want and the weakest person suffering. There will be no peace. There will be no justice. Every nation needs a constitution. That is why Zimbabwe has won. That is why we are here today. A constitution is not a mere legal document. It is sacred. It is the covenant between the people and their leaders. We do not change constitutions of entire communities for the convenience of a few individuals. We do not change such rule books because a few people have decided to stay longer in power or to determine by themselves who should take over from them. We change the rules only when an overwhelming majority authentically agrees on reasonable grounds that change has become necessary for the good of society. The Constitution of Zimbabwe is the covenant between the people and their leaders. It says we, the people, agree to this. We created this together. No one and no group of people can change certain aspects of the Constitution without getting our true consent. Consent granted under any form of duress cannot count. This is not partisan politics. I'm here as a churchman, and I'm not dabbling in partisan politics. This is about respecting all members of the constitutional constituency. This is about keeping our word in the covenant of which we are part. Each one of us is a part. This is about honoring the agreement we made together as a nation. This is about the constitution being supreme, not the whims of politicians, not the hunger for power, but the law that we created together. In recent weeks, we have witnessed disturbing developments. As citizens, we have a responsibility to pay attention to how power is used by those with whom we have entrusted our power. We have a responsibility to speak when something is wrong. What we have witnessed is wrong, profoundly wrong on 4 counts. There is the procedural violation. We have watched a process that does not reflect the will of the people. We, the people of Zimbabwe, that are at the beginning of the constitution. We, the people. In the past week, there's been minimal genuine consultation of the people of Zimbabwe on CAB 3. Proposed changes shall have been that should have been presented to the people for open discussion and consideration were pushed through government-owned media as a government resolution to which citizens were required to agree. Alternative views were refused expression. Dissenting voices were silenced. This is not consultation. This is propaganda. A second violation is the democratic one, the corruption of the parliament. When parliamentarians have been bought like goods in a market, this is not leadership. This is corruption. This is not the people's parliament. Our parliamentarians are supposed to represent their constituencies. They are supposed to listen to the people who elected them. Instead, many have abandoned their constituencies for personal gain. They have sold their votes. They have betrayed their mandate. This exercise renders our parliamentarians illegitimate. By their failure to represent their constituencies' voices, many parliamentarians have ceased to legitimately represent their constituencies in the people's minds. They and their CAB 3 endorsement are divorced from the will of the people they claim to serve. This is corruption, and corruption that destroys democracy. The third violation is that of freedom, intimidation and harassment. Some people who spoke against this bill were harassed, some were threatened, some were harmed. When people are denied the right to express their opinion contrary to the proposal made, that is not democracy. That is dictatorship. That is the suppression of fundamental human rights. Freedom of expression is not negotiable. It is the foundation of democracy. Without it, we have tyranny. The fourth violation is bypassing the mandatory referendum. It's a violation of the Constitution. We have seen the Constitution being ignored deliberately and systematically. Section 328 of the Constitution is crystal clear. It states that the people must decide through a referendum on certain constitutional amendments, and this particular constitutional amendment requires that. Not Parliament, again, not Parliament, not politicians, but the people directly through a referendum. The reason for this is also quite clear. Those in positions of power entrusted to them by the people, should not decide changes that effectively extend their stay in power without the people's true and direct permission. Consent under duress of any form cannot count as permission. To choose not to ask the people for their input through a referendum, as is clearly required by law, is disrespect of and contempt of for the Constitution and the people of Zimbabwe. This is not the will of the people. This is the power of incumbents forcing itself on the people. We face a lot of danger from this. The current process sets a dangerous precedent that threatens the future of our nation. If CAB 3 passes without a referendum, if the Constitution is violated with impunity, then in future those in power can simply decide to stay forever by seeking endorsement from their sycophants and claiming sycophants are the people. This way, those in power can turn Zimbabwe regressively into a monarchy, a dynasty running the country forever on the basis of an endorsement by bribed sycophants and coerced citizens. The signing of CAB 3 without a referendum leaves room for a future president to stay in power as long as they want, without people's consent, by using the powers of the monopoly of state resources, the media, the security forces, the treasury. If CAB 3 passes in the way it is currently passing, it means a president no longer needs the vote of the people in order to stay in power. One only needs to be rich and have enough money, or have stolen enough money to buy members of parliament. Presidents becomes commodity that can be bought by the highest bidder. Sungano Yevanhu, this coalition of the people of Zimbabwe, rejects turning our highest leadership position into a commodity for auction and for corruption. We reject the taking away of power from the people and putting it into the hands of a few people influenced by bribes and threats. We demand back the citizens' voice and vote. We will not allow our nation to become another North Korea, to become an Eswatini. We will not allow it to become a state where citizens are subjects, not free people. By these words, ladies and gentlemen, we launch Sungano Yevanhu, Ubumbano Lomphakathi, and we launch Let the People Decide national campaign. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Reverend Kupa. I would like to ask my colleagues, is anyone who would like to add a few remarks to what the Reverend has said? Honorable Biti.
Yeah, just to say that